Don't fake it till you make it. Build it and talk about it while it's happening. You don't need borrowed status. You just need a body of work and a camera that tells the truth. That's it. That's the future of content: authenticity, truth, humanity. I'm in a world where a lot of people are gonna move more so towards AI and trying to get that to generate things for them. Genuine effort is something that is going to shine and exist as its own thing, aside from anything else. Just the sheer volume and number of things being done through human effort. So talking about the story, let's actually get real and tactical about what life looks like right now, what phase of the life plan we're executing, or what the stage of our life looks like, and then what the plan is going forward. Um, yeah, 21 to about 25, we're still continuing to, study, hone in on the personal brand, building a legacy Africa. Um, and some may ask in that moment, well, what happened to Sage Consultations? Like, well, that needs to come a little bit later on. Um, most ideas, it's not that it is the incorrect idea if it's a good idea, it is that the sequencing is off. And so in that industry, you have to have a certain level of execution under your belt. Now, there is a world in which you get that execution through, which I did, um, doing it for free, doing it for friends, getting the testimonials, then and so on and so forth, and you build your way up. That is entirely possible. But there's also a scenario in which you build the personal proof first. You build your own proof through your own company, and then it just happens as a byproduct that consulting is a service that you can monetize. So yeah, for the next couple of years, we're going to be locked in on that. Where are we at right now with Legacy Africa? Again, I'm trying to now demonstrate practically what I'm talking about as the premise of this, which is you don't need to make stuff up. You don't need to fabricate things. You don't have things to talk about. You don't need to put on the fancy watches, go out, do this, do that. Especially depending on the persona that you want to put out, who you want to be known as, the public facing image that you're trying to create. I do include those types of things because I want a certain level of this authenticity as well. I'm not just going to show you one side, I'm going to show you every side. I'm not just going to show you when I'm up, I'm show you when I'm down. Um, you've seen me in tears. If you go back in this channel, you'll see me in pain, you'll see me in joy, and you'll see all the ups and downs in between those things. Legacy Africa, where we're at right now. So, as you know, if you've seen this, but I'll reiterate for the people who are newer, the concept of Legacy Africa was born from a desire to create something that can stand alone outside of myself, that stands for what I stand for. And so the easiest thing to do when you're trying to create merchandise for a public facing persona is you're going to put your name on it. And I thought, well, that's a very corny concept. I would like to create something that can stand by itself for multiple reasons, including, which is the first reason. This is the main reason why I did it. I wanted something that people could wear proudly without having to explain, because it just makes sense. It just stands for itself. And I think that's what Legacy Africa does, is if you believe that you're rooted in greatness, then you just put the shirt on and it says that you're the legacy of Africa, and that it just says it all right there. So I thought that's a really good concept. And then now that, looking back at it retrospectively, I'm like, wow, that's actually a really good idea, because then you can, I've read, I've read plenty of books on business. And one of them was Built to Sell. And the part of that is, the valuation of your company also depends on how well it can stand on its own. And so, not attaching that company to my personal brand also increases just the valuation of it, just makes it a more valuable business for anyone who is an outside party wanting to come in. And I'm also going to build it and distribute it in a way where it isn't leaning on my personal brand. Although I am going to leverage it, of course, here and there, that's going to be like a bonus, not the main driver of traffic. Um, at least that's the hope. So, where are we at right now? Well, it went from that concept, played around with generative AI, came up with the logo. I literally came up with that. That's my brainchild of oh, I want this, and this. Okay, boom, it happens. It's like, okay, well, let's actually get into creating stuff, mock-ups. You put on T-shirts. Like, well, people aren't really gravitating towards this. I was like, well, what about this concept? That concept, split tested multiple times, which is concept that I got from Alex Ramos's $100 million leads. He split tests everything apparently, like the different thumbnails, different this, different that, and whatever the people are reacting to the most is what will end up getting used. And so that's what I did. Split test. It literally went out every day for a couple of weeks, I believe it was. I'm not exactly sure on the timelines, but there was a good time horizon where I literally, with each idea, I was like, okay, well, you like this or that, this or that, this or that. People voted, people liked what they liked, people, I did this, that, and the third, and then we ended up having our winner. And so then the quest was, all right, now that we have this winner, how do we proceed? You know, um, obviously having a website is one place where you can generate the traffic to, you can push all the traffic to, you can track certain metrics, certain numbers, see what works, what doesn't. You create your own space within the internet where you can control, manipulate, and create narrative. Really, I think that's the one of the main things. You can really create and craft your own narratives around what you want people to think when they're in that space about who you are, what you stand for as a brand. And so, yeah, having the website developed, we're in the finishing stages now. Um, there's some learnings with that. I had a designer on the project. Wow, one very important thing that I did learn was delegation. I delegated the heck out of everything in the process leading up to here, even in this final stage that we're in now. So obviously it was creating the stuff. Back to the story, creating the stuff. Got the website going, and then from there I talked to anyone and everyone that would listen. One thing I made sure is that the dream didn't die and that there was always slow, steady progress, no matter what, daily, to make sure that something is happening, anything towards that. Um, on most days, and there were days when I did fall off, or I didn't, I wasn't aligned. And that's why, if you go back to the channel, alignment is such a big thing that I talk about nowadays, and that's the word of the year 2026. Is because it's something that I just need in my life. And I know if I just have that, and each action that I execute is with that in mind, what could I become? That's the idea, the premise that drives me at this point is like, man, if I actually like genuinely focused, locked in, no bullshit, no distractions, no straying off the path, if I actually genuinely find ways to do it every single day for just 365, just 365, every single day for 365, something, some little thing, even if it's days when the internet's down and the like there's no power anywhere, and I don't have a phone, I don't have a camera, I don't have anything, and I just grab a notepad and I just jot notes down, just violently moving towards the things that you want to achieve, is really where I want to be at next year. And so, yeah, um, website crafted, delegation out the wazoo, asking questions from people who've been there, done that before, that I'd known of in my life. Um, and I know I'm skipping through a lot, but now we're at the stage, because that's what's fresh on my mind, where we're at right now. We're at the stage where we're talking to suppliers, and we're literally getting it done. The aim is to get it up running before the end of the year. It's about we're about halfway through November now. It's almost the 20th of November, and so yeah, we're really close to launching. There's a entrepreneurship competition that is on the 3rd of December, and we're rocking and rolling towards that. We're creating, crafting the presentation, just putting a lot of energy, thought, consideration towards just making this happen, and again keeping it alive, keeping the idea alive, the dream alive. The point of entering the competition is not to win the competition, but it's to add another deadline, put more pressure on, and get things done in compressed timelines, because you can always correct them after. you know you can do the things and think through things that you wouldn't have thought through necessarily, because the pressure is on. And so that's been the goal, and that's where we're at right now. Naturally, in my typical fashion, I don't want to keep you guys for too long, but the point of the video is you don't need false flash. You can build a real story based in reality. You can, what's it? It's don't create, document. I think that's the direction that we've gone in for a while, and that's the direction that we're sticking to and we're doubling down on. And for anyone who's thinking about putting anything out, generating any sort of presence, that's what I would say. Don't create, document. Thank you for watching. If you did in fact enjoy, please hit the subscribe button. I've been Sage, standing on business.